So I encountered a situation the other day where I erased my music library on the computer by mistake, and I had playlists on my iPod. Now I don't have many songs on my iPod, but the ones I do have, I've got divided into playlists, and it would have taken a lot to recreate those playlists. So for instance, the one playlist I have, we'll call it test playlist. I only had 3 songs in it, but I wanted to get it back into iTunes without having to rebuild the entire playlist. So here's how you do it. Now most of these programs like iPod Access, Touch Copy, whatever it is, they'll copy the playlist and the file. But for me, I've got all my MP3s saved in a folder called C/MP3, and they're arranged by artist and then title. So the way to do that then is the way I'm going to show you now. When you use the playlist copy or clone feature in these programs, it copies the playlist and the files and links to those files, but the files don't retain the same name. They've got one of iTunes' cryptic AVS143.mp3 is the name. I didn't want that. I didn't want to have new files that I didn't know the name of, so I went about getting those and then editing the playlists in this way. So here we go. Now my program of choice is a program called iPod Access. I know it's blurry, but I'm going to try and fix that in a second. This is the playlist, test playlist, and I click on Add to iTunes at the top. And what that's going to do is open iTunes and copy the playlist and the files into iTunes. Now that's great, but I don't want it to point to those files. I want it to point to another file. As you can see here, it's copying them in this playlist right here. So I go here, and we're going to go to the next stage of this video. Much better. So now anyway, I go to that and I export the playlist to, let's say, the desktop. And we'll call it whatever I want the playlist to be called. I'm going to call it the same as the one on the iPod, which is test. Let's check. Test playlist. That exports it as a text file. Now I can go ahead and delete this. Now if you notice what I'm telling you, so if you look at the info, it's saving them as each one's got a cryptic name. I don't want that. I've got that same file, and I don't need any of this. So I'm going to delete these songs, like so. I can delete the whole playlist. I can close this program. We're done with it now. I'm going to open the playlist up. If you notice, it's a tab-separated file. And the biggest change is right here. Under location, it's linking to the wrong folder. So the best way to do that, what I figured out, is to open with Excel. We'll open in Excel. Now you go to the very end. This is what we want to change, the location. You notice the location is totally wrong. Now my MP3s I've got by name of artist, a name of hyphen, name of singer. So for this, we go like this. Click a new workbook, paste. I'm just going to arrange it so that it's like this. I'm trying to get the format correct. I'll show you why. Oh, how? It's like MP3, and I'm going to copy this down. And one thing it's going to, when we do a find and replace, in case the name of the song has got a hyphen in it, that's not going to work. So we need to do some nonsensical sign. In this case, I'm going to do this, like this, some sort of pattern that we can copy, and I'll show you why that makes sense in a minute. So this is the format of them. Now I'm going to save this as a tab separated value. I'm sorry, comma separated, comma delimited. What that does is every time there's a column, it puts a space, it puts a comma between them. You'll see what that means in a minute. We'll close out of this, and we're going to go back and open this file that we just created in Notepad. Now here we see files. Now they need to be reformatted, so we're going to use just this batch find and replace. We're going to find, first of all, this part right here, MP3 backslash comma. We're going to find backslash comma, replace it with backslash, replace. Next we're going to get rid of the comma.mp3 because that was, mp3 was a separate column, so put a comma before it. So we're going to do that. We're going to find those and replace with this. And finally the middle section. Now the reason again that I did that little tilde is because if we just did comma, it might find a comma in one of the names of the songs, and that would not look good. So we got this little string. It's definitely going to be only here that this takes place. This part of the file name. Space, hyphen space, replace. Now we have the newly formatted string. We can take that string. Then we go back to the original test playlist we exported. We're going to open that again in Excel. We're going to go to the end and we're going to paste. That way they match up. And then save that. Save it as test playlist. Yes. Yes. If you go back to iTunes and File, Library, Import Playlist, and then go to that playlist we just exported, test playlist. You'll see in just a second. There's our test playlist. And this time, the songs reference the correct location because we changed them. So, that's it.